Welcome back, my friends. August 16th, 2021, 11:07 a.m., Monday, early afternoon, late morning, whatever you want to call it. I hope you all had a great weekend. We're checking out Tropical Storm Fred, Tropical Depression Grace, and yes, Tropical Depression number 8, or soon to be possibly Henry. We're going to check that out as well. We are also continuing to watch very big earthquakes take place all over the world, including the South Sandwich Islands. If you guys remember, we've had major earthquakes in 3 major sections of the world, actually 4. We had one in the Philippines as well, but the main 3 spots we were talking about, at least yesterday and the day before, were clearly Alaska, Haiti, and the Caribbean, and then the South Sandwich Islands. Very interesting circumstances, very similar geography in all 3 of these places, and now a 4th. So we have these broken up islands all over the place in Alaska. We all know that, and we just made that connection the other day. We have the strip islands here south of the Bering Sea in Alaska, so a broken up chain of islands getting hit by big quakes. We can scroll right down to the Caribbean, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and then the Leeward Lesser Antilles island chain. This broken, curved chain of islands, with a distinct fault line on it, clearly producing major earthquakes. We'll get into a little bit of news on Haiti, and then we get to our 3rd area, another set of strip islands, the South Sandwich Islands, which almost connects South America and Antarctica. And we are continuing to have very big quakes in this area, and it's not that we've never seen quakes of this size before in these areas, but it's happening all at once. All 3 areas getting hit at the same time. And we can see here right now a 6.9 earthquake struck earlier today. This was a 7.1 reduced to a 6.9. No surprise there, but we got to keep an eye on this going on, and we need to realize we're not having too much crazy action on the sun, so whatever's happening is coming within the earth. It doesn't seem to be outside influences affecting the seismic activity lately. So basically, as far as the seismic activity goes, the long and short of it is we have 3 separate areas with very, very similar geography, very far away from each other, all experiencing the same thing at the same time. So I'm going to continue looking into this. If we have any more action in these 3 areas, we're going to keep studying it and try to figure out if it's coming from within the earth or if it's something coming from an outside source. And without getting into it too much, obviously the news coming out of Haiti is devastating. More and more bad news as more and more people are found and things like that. We all know that Haiti was completely devastated by this earthquake, and also some confusing information as well. There are some channels out there that have gone on to explain some of this. I'm not going to do that here right now. We got other stuff to go over, but a lot of stuff going on in Haiti that just doesn't make sense as far as the warning systems and what was what, the numbers, when to expect certain things. It was just a mess. So once again, thoughts are absolutely going out to those in the Caribbean today. We got to remember, guys, we have Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. You know, that's all within a small vicinity of the Caribbean that we all look at on a daily basis. Not to mention, as we transition into the weather here, we are watching Tropical Storm / Tropical Depression Grace literally about to get to Haiti, already on top of Dominican Republic, and now we are crossing that border right over the crumbled buildings and these people searching. So not a good situation going on there. And at the same time, of course, we have Tropical Storm Fred about to make landfall on the U.S. Not every day you have a tropical storm about to hit the U.S. and the bigger news is something else going on. Not to say that Fred is less important. It's absolutely important. It's very dangerous. Any storm that is a tropical depression or above can cause fatalities in very serious situations. So we are watching Fred very closely, as a lot of you in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana are, and then soon to be the Southeast. And then we're going to be dealing with a situation with Grace here that we've been following, currently over open water and still expected, in some cases, as you see here, to be a major hurricane, a Category 3. In fact, 3 days ago, we talked about Grace growing to a large hurricane, and this was exactly where that spot was. This has come and gone 5 or 6 times now and changed courses and changed strength, but we can see right here, many of these models have this thing strengthening and fairly quickly too. So within the next day or two, you could see that 24-hour mark on this chart here. We're looking at a pretty straight shot up to at least a Category 1, and the reason for that, which I'm going to explain right now, can really be answered based on our spaghetti plots and what's going to happen around this storm to keep it going straight to the west, basically. And this is really what's going to be the determining factor. If this storm slips just between Jamaica to the south and Cuba to the north, we're talking about an open water storm. Plenty of momentum, plenty of room, plenty of fuel to become a big hurricane. And as you can see, it heads towards Cancun, Mexico, this gap right here between the western end of Cuba and the Gulf curl end, I guess you could say, of Mexico. This is Cancun, Mexico, big vacation area. And these spaghetti plots are very tight, very compact and very consistent, bringing this storm into the Gulf. And you can see these numbers right here, 48 hours, 72 hours, and then if we backtrack, 24 hours. So we can use this chart here and this chart here to look at that mark. So 24 hours, 36 hours. So right around this area, they're expecting the storm to start strengthening towards those category 1s, maybe 2, maybe even a 3. And then when we compare that to the 24, 48, and 72 hours, we can see that that strengthening is expected to happen right here, just as it passes between Jamaica and Cuba. So very cool how we can pinpoint exact data that way without having to look at moving charts. And we'll take a look at those cool moving charts in 1 second. Let's just get our bearings right here. So look, we also have Tropical Depression 8. Where did this thing come from? Well, it kind of just popped up, believe it or not, and it's expected to kind of hook south and then west and then north and then east. According to the charts, we're going to check those out as well. So right away, we have Fred, Grace, and this would technically be called HENRI if it does get into the tropical storm range. And now we'll just throw some info on each one of these storms so we can be totally up to date for the most current info. Fred here at 50 knots. The gusts are unavailable at this point. 993 millibars in pressure will probably, as we scroll down to the spaghetti plots and the timing, more than likely will strengthen upon landfall. So this thing will continue to get stronger until it crosses that threshold of the panhandle of Florida. And then we can more than likely expect a rapid breakdown of this storm and then become some sort of system up into the northeast. And now we'll switch this over to Grace, and we'll look at the same charts for Grace. Remember, still projected to be a fairly big hurricane over the next couple days, but according to our time chart here, see those S's? That means storm, tropical storm, not a hurricane. When you see the letter H, that's when it's expected a hurricane. So we should see this chart change in a little bit because of the open water. If we split between this gap after the interaction with Haiti between Cuba and Jamaica, this will certainly go to an H. And then of course, speaking of H, we have number 8 depression. We have Tropical Depression 8, or soon to be possibly HENRI. This thing could scoop up a name and be over with just as quick, but it's interesting the path it wants to take. And we briefly touched on that, but here is the actual time chart. Expected to be a tropical storm probably any moment now, circling around Bermuda. Check that out. So we'll check this cone of uncertainty over the next few days, and I will keep you all super posted on it. I am also finishing up another Antarctica edit that's going to blow your minds, my friends. I have many of those videos on their way. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Short message at the end. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I will be back later on today or tomorrow morning. Until then, I'll see you in the next video, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.